Muhammed and his wife Majdoleen have been married for 6 months. They are Palestinian journalists that met in Istanbul while working for TRT Arabi. Muhammed has Israeli citizenship and Majdoleen has a Palestinian one. Muhammed says he set up a home in northern Israel, but Israel doesn't allow Majdoleen to enter the country and live there. Now they live in Ramallah temporarily.
We're like many Palestinians who have many problems. Like thousands of Palestinian families, we have reunification problems, and we've chosen to go to Turkey or another country to build a normal life. But Israel didn't even allow my wife to do this and blocked her from leaving the country.
Majdoleen says Israel doesn't accept the necessary documentation needed for unification.
I went to the Israeli intelligence to ask about the reason for their blocking. They told me that they don't know the reason and suggested I appeal to an Israeli court. We appealed to an Israeli court many times, and they told us that our case is a secret one that nobody can get information about.
Palestinians who are residents of the occupied West Bank and Gaza and married to Israelis are barred from obtaining permanent residency in Israel. It started with the Citizenship and Entry Law in 2003, and the legislation has been extended every year. It is now popularly known as Family Reunification Law. So far, around 12,700 Palestinians married to Palestinians who are Israeli citizens live there with temporary documentation. But they live almost in limbo. If their Israeli spouse die or they divorce, Palestinian children either have to leave the country or to move to the occupied West Bank or Gaza. Some Palestinian residents of the occupied West Bank whose wives or husbands live in Israel have to enter the country legally by climbing through a hole in the separation wall or by jumping over it to meet with their loved ones. They have to sneak in this way as Israel bans the free movement of Palestinian residents of the occupied West Bank in Israel over security concerns. But some politicians like Israeli Foreign Minister Yair Lapid admits that the law ensures a Jewish majority in Israel. For Palestinian lawyers, it is just stating the obvious.
The draft law began as a project in the corridors of the General Security Agency, not to allow Palestinians to achieve the right to return through family reunification. Israelis see family reunification as the backdoor of the right to return, so it was decided under the pretext of security to close this door.
2 weeks ago, the Israeli parliament passed the first hearing of the extension of the law. If 2 more votes give a green light to the law, Muhammed and Majdoleen might have to postpone their dreams to live together in Israel and instead make a new home for themselves somewhere else in the world. Mustafa Fatih's TRT World, occupied East Jerusalem.